What is up, sports bettors? It is Matt Modi here with OddsJam, wishing you a Merry Christmas, and also here to give you some bets to lock in for the NBA Christmas Day games. So we have 5 games that the NBA is giving us on Christmas. Obviously, they've been doing this for a while now, scheduling really good games on Christmas Day. This year is obviously no different. So 5 games means that there are ample betting opportunities for us to lock in. For me, I find all of my bets using OddsJam using the positive expected value page. When you are using OddsJam, you are placing bets that have an edge over the sports books, and gaining an edge is literally the most important thing you can do as a sports bettor if you want to make money. If you're just doing it for fun and you're not trying to profit, you're not betting that much money, then whatever. But if you actually want to make some sort of income, some sort of money betting on sports, you have to have an edge. The reason why is because sports books inherently have the edge over you. So sportsbooks, the way they make their money, it's actually not that difficult. They just charge basically a tax or juice, the VIG is what it's officially called, to the odds themselves. So sportsbooks, they charge a tax like a 3 to 5 to 7% on the odds themselves, and then they try to make sure that they get 50-50 payout on each side. So whether it's an over or an under, or who covers, wins, whatever. As long as they get 50% of the money on either outcome, the sportsbooks profit because they charge a VIG. So that's the inherent edge that they have over you. So gaining an edge back over them is incredibly important, like I said, if you want to be profitable. And that's exactly how OddsJam comes into play. They provide betting opportunities that give you the edge over the sportsbooks. So the way it works and why this is such a powerful tool. So OddsJam pulls odds from the sharpest sportsbooks in the world, removes that VIG, removes that juice that I talked about, and then spits out the OddsJam perfect line using a weighted average from those sharp sportsbooks. So OddsJam back-tested betting opportunities to determine who the sharp ones are. So it's not like anecdotally, like, I think that these are the best. No, it's based on data over a large sample size. So using those sportsbooks and then figuring out which ones are the sharpest among the sharp ones as well. So that's what I mean by a weighted average. Let's pretend there are 5. Okay, these 5 are the best. Not all 5 are equally the best, so heavier weight towards the better ones. And then OddsJam collected all that data, and then it's constantly scanning odds from the current sportsbooks, right? Scanning live odds from all of the major sportsbooks, all of the major markets, pulling betting opportunities where you are getting more favorable odds than the no-vig line. And that's exactly what we have here. So the first play is this Quentin Grimes under 1.5 made threes. The play is at plus 152 odds at FanDuel. In the Sixers versus Knicks game, obviously Quentin Grimes being a player for the Knicks. So the sharpest sportsbooks in the world calculate this perfect line to be plus 145. We are getting it 7 cents higher at plus 152 at FanDuel. So that's the math behind it. All in all, this percent here is your profit margin. So you know that this is the positive EV play because it's bolded and it has the outline around it telling you that bet this. This is the bet. We need like a siren. Hit this bet. And then this is your percent of expected profit, your percent of expected value. So for every $100 bet on this play, you could figure to make $1 or $2.72. For me, this is a half unit play, which is $50 for me. So for me, 1 unit equals $100. This is a half unit play. So whatever half of 272 is, I don't feel like doing the math off the top of my head, but that's kind of the math behind everything. Then what you want to do, you want to click into the play itself. So we see how it highlights blue, right? When I hover over it, if you click anywhere over here into this area where it's highlighted blue, it pulls up where every sportsbook is pricing odds for this play. And you want to compare the bet that you are placing to the bet, the rest of the betting market, I should say. In this case, FanDuel at plus 152. How does that compare to the rest of the betting markets? Well, BetRivers is kind of close at plus 143. Look at every other book. We see odds range from plus 127, which is 25 cents lower, all the way down to plus 115, which is what, 37 cents lower, something like that. So all in all, every other sportsbook that prices it, including BetRivers, prices it as the significantly more likely bet to occur. Now, I know one question you're going to ask. If this bet's at plus 152 odds, isn't that bet not likely to hit? And the answer is yes. But I will say, I think we need to get away from that type of thinking. The goal isn't to win 100% of your bets. If that was the case, just bet every single heavy favorite. you won't make money, but you'll win the highest percent of your bets. The goal is to actually profit. And betting plus money plays can be valuable because you don't have to win as much. So if you win, you can win 45% of your bets and still make money. And for this play specifically, the no vig odds. And I can actually back up here, and I find this fascinating. It might just be me, but all odds have an inherent win percentage associated with them. So whenever sportsbooks are pricing odds, all they're doing is saying, hey, our model, our algorithm gives this bet this X% chance of hitting, obviously also based on a lot of factors, more than just that, but we think this bet has X% chance of hitting, and then they just convert that percent into odds. So plus 145, this bet's going to hit roughly 40.76% of the time. That's not great, but what is great is let's look at the implied odds of plus 152 and how often it needs to hit in order to be profitable. And you can do that if you go to calculator, Novig fair odds calculator. Wrong one. No, you want to go to odds converter calculator. Type in plus 152. That has a win percentage of 39.68. So this bet only needs to hit roughly 39.7% of the time, and we will make money. And we know it's going to hit 40.76% of the time, over a 1% difference of that. That is your profitability. That's why I like taking bets that are plus money, and I don't avoid them. I also like taking bets that are minus money, like if we have one here. Like this Denver Nuggets minus 2.5, well, that was a play. The odds changed, so it's not a play anymore. So let me go ahead and give this a refresh. But regardless, my first play is going to be this Quentin Grimes under 1.5 made threes. So next up, the play that I like here, it's actually even more profitable now, is Jason Tatum under 7.5 rebounds. So it was at plus 105. The odds changed and are now actually plus 110, so it's even better. And the OddsJam perfect line prices this at plus 102. So Pinnacle, and I guess actually I should say when you're looking at sharp sportsbooks to kind of set the market, Pinnacle is the sharpest sportsbook in the world, so you give that one the heaviest weight. Another sharp book that I mentioned on the first one was BetOnline. That's another sharp one. And then for player props specifically is DraftKings. So Pinnacle, BetOnline, DraftKings you want to look at for player props. Pinnacle prices this at minus 122. DraftKings prices it at minus 120. And then we see other sports books like Caesars at minus 127. And then two that are closer to the points bet line, FanDuel and BetRivers. But this is still an outlier to the sharp books and to the majority of books. So this Jason Tatum under 7.5 rebounds, under 7.5 rebounds plus 110 odds at PointsBet is a really good play. And then the next one, and here's a perfect example of one that is for minus money that I still recommend taking, is Jalen Brunson under 6.5 assists. So generally with sports betting, I don't care if the odds are plus or minus money. I just care what the odds are reflective to the rest of the betting market. So in this case, the minus 120 at PointsBet, we have an OddsJam perfect line of minus 125, so 5 cents higher. And then look at the rest of the sports books. Again, for whatever reason, FanDuel and BetRivers and PointsBet kind of seem to be aligned. But every other book, Caesars minus 160, and then the sharp ones. DraftKings minus 150, 30 cents higher. BetOnline minus 147, 27 cents higher. Pinnacle minus 162, 42 cents higher than the PointsBet line at minus 120. So in this case, the win percentage that OddsJam calculates, the sharpest books in the world are telling you this is going to hit over 55% of the time. And the implied odds that we are getting of minus 120, if I go back to that, only has a win percentage of 54.55%. So this bet needs to hit over 54.55% chance, or 54.55 times, and we will be profitable. And we know it's going to hit 55.6% of the time. There's your profitability. In this case, profit margin of 1.96. So this one I recommend putting a full unit on, which for me again is $100. So I recommend putting $100 on this one, which is what I put. So that is my third pick for today. And then the last one that I'll lock in here, my fourth pick, and this is a total, so not all going to be player props, but I do really like this one, is the Lakers versus Mavericks over 227.5. So the OddsJam perfect line prices this at minus 114, pretty much in the minus 120s across the board, ranging from minus 121 to minus 125. And then what you want to do for a market that has higher numbers, like a total is going to obviously have higher numbers, you want to click the event page and open it in a new tab. So the reason why is because this page pulls up where every sportsbook is pricing the main line of this total. So where they price the over under at. We know, based on everything we've seen in this video, that sports books are going to have different odds, right? We see odds ranging from -121 to -110 to -125. We also know, and this also means that not every single sports book is going to have this over under priced at 227.5. They're going to have it priced elsewhere. And since we're taking the over 227.5, we want to make sure that other sports books that price it, to make sure that they price it above this number. And the answer to that is yes. So again, we are taking the over 227.5. Every other sportsbook, no other sportsbook has their main line at this number. We see a couple have it at 228 and a couple have it at 228.5. And then for main lines such as this, you want to look at Pinnacle. They have their main line at 228.5 and they still favor it going over. So a full point higher is favored to go over. And then Bookmaker has it at 228. And then BetOnline has it at 228.5 as well. Those are the three though: Pinnacle, Bookmaker, and BetOnline. They all price it a half point or a full point higher. So this is going to be my fourth and final pick for the NBA Christmas slate. If you're tailing this, comment and let me know. We'd love to hear it. But that's all I got. So I appreciate everybody watching and have a good one.